Sometimes the most sacred part of transformation isn't what you see in the mirror, but is how you carry it into the world. Welcome to Unsubscribe, Episode 3, Integration. I am Premal Badiani, integration therapist and transformation coach, and your guide as we learn to embrace our sacred journey. If you've followed us through Episode 1 and 2, you've heard us talk about the unraveling and the realignment. But this is the episode where we land. This is where the real work begins. This is integration. Before we get deeper into the topic of integration, I want to name something essential: the preparation. The work of transformation doesn't start with the journey. It starts with your intention. The container for healing is not just the moment of breakthrough. It includes the groundwork laid before, the experience itself, and the support that follows.
Yes, and I love that you're starting there because I didn't really understand that space before my journey, and I didn't understand how important it was to the journey itself. But the intention I set became the compass for everything that followed. It shaped what came up, how I met it, and how I processed it afterward.
Yeah, exactly. And when we talk about altered states as healing tools, we're not talking about just spontaneous, unheld experiences. We're talking about an ecosystem of support, a sacred container that includes intention, guidance, surrender, and then integration. So, I want to start today by naming this elephant in the room, and that's why are altered states so misunderstood?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Because before my first experience, I had so many fears. I was scared I'd lose control or come back changed in a way that I couldn't undo. I thought it might be like this 12-hour horror trip I couldn't escape. But at the time, what I didn't realize then was how much intention, guidance, surrender, and later integration really shaped that experience. It's not just about the altered state. It's about the space you enter from and how you come back.
Yeah.
Without that framework, I can imagine it can feel scary or misunderstood.
Yeah, and I mean it's weird how our conscious mind plays these tricks on us, right? And I'll tell you this, you're not alone, right? So many of us carry this deep cultural conditioning around these states, right? And for centuries, altered states have been feared and stigmatized and in some cases even criminalized. But you know what we forget is that across cultures and over the centuries, whether that's indigenous, Eastern, African, these altered states were once considered sacred, and they still are, right? They were used for rites of passage, grieving, healing, and also creative renewal, right? And I truly believe that what's changed is not the value of these experiences. What's changed is society's increased obsession with logic, control, and linear productivity.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like we've become terrified of surrender. We've been taught that control equals safety, but honestly, that's not always true. And sometimes clinging to control is what's keeping us stuck. Right. And for me, the shift came when I realized that surrender isn't about giving up. It's about trusting that something wiser is holding you. And realizing that was a big moment. letting go didn't feel like falling, you know. It felt like I was finally being held.
Yeah, and that's so true. And in fact, for some, well, I'll tell you this. I mean, some of the most beautiful parts of healing happens outside the realm of logic. You know, when we experience this deeper intelligence, a somatic, emotional, also spiritual knowing that the thinking mind cannot, it just doesn't hold the capability and the capacity. Feels like it can't always reach. And having said that, let's also name a fear that we hear a lot, is that if I practiced journey work, or if I experienced altered state of mind, will I get addicted? Or will it just become an escape for me? Or will it just be a tool for numbing?
Yeah. And I definitely wondered that. Like, you know, because it was a new experience and I didn't really understand it, it felt irresponsible at first. But to be honest, it ended up being the most responsible, conscious thing I've ever done.
And I feel that what you just said is the paradox. These tools, when used in a safe and supportive environment, can actually help heal from addiction,
Right.
not feed it. And having said that, let's state some of the facts here that we may already know. That in the field of medicine and research, what we already know is that ketamine has been used and has shown promising results for treatment-resistant depression and suicidal ideation. You know, studies from Johns Hopkins shows that psilocybin can actually support long-term recovery from alcohol and nicotine and opioid dependencies. You know, we know that MDMA is used medically for therapy and is being fast-tracked for PTSD. Right? So these are, if you think about it, these are not just fringe tools.
And
They are the frontier of trauma recovery and neural recalibration.
here's what stuck out to me after my first, you know, medically supervised session. I didn't just gain deep personal insight. I felt measurable psychological relief. My resting heart rate dropped, my sleep quality improved,
Yeah.
and the constant, you know, buzz in my nervous system finally settled. So instead of craving more of the substance, I felt motivated to keep reinforcing those gains with therapy, you know, like journaling and evidence-based mindful practice.
Yeah, and I totally believe, and I can totally understand that these practices, you know, would have been such an important tool
Yeah.
for you for rebuilding, right? But having said that, it's also important to note that there is no one size fits all, right? Because for each one of us, our cultures are different, our backgrounds are different, our life experiences are different, and hence the decisions which we make based on those knowings are different.
Yeah.
And so each person's support structure, whether that's psychotherapy or group integration or data-driven biofeedback, it is going to look different, right? And that's okay, because the compound is only a catalyst, right? The real work happens in how you consolidate all that learning, the neural and the neural changes afterwards, how you implement, how you build from that knowing. How do you change the pattern from that knowing? And what would you do with all that information, right? And really thinking about it, that's where the shift is. Because when done in a held space, these tools don't foster dependency, they foster agency. You reconnect with your inner compass. And let's speak about something really important here. This work isn't just for trauma or medically diagnosed conditions. These states can also help regulate anxiety,
Right.
rebuild creativity and clarity for high performers. And that's who I work with. These are real people achieving, building leaders in their own realm of life, right? It helps them reconnect with their purpose after a burnout. And for a lot of my clients, it's helped them surface old grief and inherited emotional patterns, and finally having a chance to change those patterns. And I've had clients who come in thinking that they're just tired, and then they leave realizing that they've just been disconnected from themselves for decades.
Yeah, right. And I can completely connect with that because that's kind of how my story unfolded. And I think what shocked me the most was how much came up that I didn't know was there.
Yeah.
I thought I had done the work, but I had really just talked about it. I hadn't really felt it.
Yeah, and you're so right. And that's the power of altered state.
Yeah.
They bypass the intellectual defenses. You're not being told something, you remember it from within. It's embodied, right? You may have known this all along. It just helps you bring it to surface so that you can finally sit with it. You can face it, you can rebuild from it, and that's what makes it so productive.
Right.
But also, here's a truth that no one wants to talk about. That journey is just the beginning, right? The integration is where the transformation actually sticks.
Yeah, because the transformation was a completely different process for me. Like I'm grateful for that experience. So let's talk about what that really means. Because integration isn't just journaling or going on a nature walk. It's some real work in there.
Yeah, and integration is also learning to live from what you have uncovered, right? Making different choices and finally having the chance to end these misaligned patterns, even if that feels uncomfortable, right? And practicing awareness, building from that awareness, and bringing your body along for that healing.
Yeah, that's so true. I still revisit my notes. I still revisit the voice memo I made after the session, the drawings. And I think because in that space, I met my truest self. And now it's my job to not abandon her again. So, I keep all that close to me.
Right. And I believe that that's what makes it sustainable. We often say that insight without implementation is just a moment. But you see, integration turns that moment into a movement where you have the opportunity to actually make it real, to actually build something that's beyond the facade. And in this work, that's what we hold people through. The post-journey rebuilding. The days when the clarity starts to fade and, the doubt starts coming in and the world feels too loud once again, that's where you have this safe space, where you come back to this container, where you can reconnect and where you can anchor yourself again.
Yeah. That anchor is so important because it's so easy to want to chase the experience again.
Yeah.
But this work has taught me that I didn't need another peak moment, you know. I needed that anchor. I needed that grounded life.
Yeah, and that's why this journey work is so powerful. It's not about escaping. It's about returning, not rising above, but actually sinking in. So, if you've touched a truth that won't let you go, if something deep within you has stirred, it's the time to honor it. Don't rush it. Don't try to fix it. Don't package it into a plan. Reshape it. Let it reshape you. Because real change doesn't happen when you chase transformation. It begins when you dare to live from what's been revealed. And remember that the journey is not about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you are and living like it matters.
Yeah. And that lasting change is life changing. Prim, and I want to thank you so much for walking us through this series. I mean, this is truly a transformative experience. And if this resonated with you all, share it, talk about it, reach out, start where you are. You are not alone.
You've been listening to Unsubscribe. I am Premal Badiani. Let the silence after this episode hold you gently. Let the truth land where it needs to. If you've made it through all 3 episodes of this series, thank you. Thank you for listening, not just with your ears, but with your heart. For sitting with those questions, for honoring the ache, and for choosing to explore what alignment, clarity, and integration could mean for you. If you feel called to take this work deeper, to explore what's rising in your own story, we would love to support you. Visit pblifecoaching.com to book your free discovery call, learn more about integration therapy, and simply start a conversation. And if this series resonated, share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe so that you don't miss what's next, because healing is personal, but you don't have to walk it alone. This is just the beginning, and we will see you soon.